দর্শক আমন্ত্রণ জানাচ্ছি চ্যানেল 24 এর নিয়মিত আয়োজন মুখোমুখিতে। মুখোমুখিতে আজকে আমরা কথা বলবো একজন জাপানিজ রকস্টার, অ্যাক্টর, সংরাইটার, গিটারিস্ট, মাল্টি জিনিয়াস একজনের সাথে, এবং হি ইজ নান আদার দেন মিস্টার মিয়াভি। হ্যালো, ওয়েলকাম টু দ্য শো।
Nice to meet you.
Nice to meet you too. So you're like a songwriter, you play guitar, and that's unique, and that's different. You're an actor, you made 3 or 4 movies and 2 is coming, if I'm not wrong. You're like multi-genius. How you want to describe yourself? Which the best way you want to say, I mean, which is the best way to introduce you? Singer or musician or actor or what? Or even a soccer player?
I don't know. I'm also dad. I have 2 daughters. So I create, I create music, acting, and fashion. So entertainment, those things are really, really close. And then I really feel responsible to combine those things and to deliver the good message. So this time, my first time in Bangladesh, it's really, really important to be here as an ambassador for UNHCR,
right,
which is a refugee agency of UN. So as you guys know, the Rohingya crisis, the refugee crisis is happening. So even music or fashion or acting cannot save you right there.
Right.
Yeah, you need food, water, health, and also education. But entertainment, even music, can do something. So as an ambassador, it's really, really important to be here to spread the message to the global world, but at the same time, to be connected to people who had to leave, who had to flee from their country.
Right.
So
You've been to Cox's Bazar, right?
yeah,
And how many days you spent there?
it's 2 days.
Okay. And how many places how many camps, how many people you have visited in
So
Cox's Bazar?
basically, we went to Kotapalong, the world's largest settlement.
Right.
So that's basically we went to, and then we met many families and people who had to suffer in their lives, and then that was really, really eye-opening experience. And at the same time, the scale of the settlement is really, really big. They're the biggest settlement. So 80,000 houses,
Right.
and then 570,000 people are waiting for new path, a new life. It's crisis. It's huge, and then it's not local issue. It's a global issue. So it's not a problem between Myanmar and Bangladesh. It's not local. It's global issue. So every country, Japan, US, Canada, every single country needs to pay more attention and then get involved. So I became an ambassador for UNHCR last year.
Okay.
Yeah, but I had no idea, no experience before I met Angelina Jolie, Special Envoy
Right.
of UNHCR. She's been working for UNHCR over 15 years, even before refugee crisis became popular. She has been working on this issue for a long time, and then simply I got inspired. And then, but the first time I went to a refugee camp in Lebanon, I was scared because I was just a musician, and then I was not.
You have never seen such horrific situation, right?
Yeah, and then I had no knowledge or experience, and I was not as famous as Angie. So I had no idea what to do, but I just went there with the guitar. And then the first moment I played the guitar, I saw the brightness in the kids' eyes. It's really, really bright, and I felt hope. That's the hope. And even this camp, Kotapalong, it's hard. They just arrived, and then they're looking for. They're still waiting for another step. But kids' eyes, they are not dead yet. Really, really
There is a
alive.
hope.
hope. They generate energy, and then they bring hope and then smiles and laughter to people. So that's our responsibility to protect them. I have two daughters, two kids. So we are responsible to protect their future. So, and then they are the ones who are gonna make our future. So that's our responsibility to give them right education. So the first time I went to refugee camp in Lebanon, as I said, I was really scared, but I played the guitar. Kids went crazy. We were having a great time, and then I wanted let the kids play the guitar. So so I kind of played the chorus.
Yeah.
And then kids were kind of strumming the strings, and we made that song. But in the middle of the session, in line, some of the kids started fighting, fist fight, serious fight, punching each other, and then some of the kids started bleeding.
Yeah.
I was shocked. I was like, hey, is that okay? I asked the local staff, and they said, okay, just kids are fighting. The kids are fighting. But to me, it's, if they don't get right education,
they will fight.
Yes, and then that causes another conflict in the future.
Right.
So that's really, really important to give them right education. That's a prevention, and then that's our responsibility. And the music can be a part of it. Yeah.
That's very encouraging. I mean, whenever you've been, wherever you've been, whenever you play the music, the kids, they don't know the language, but they know the tone.
Yeah.
It gives them the energy and vibe, and that sort of give you encouragement.
Yes.
So, what kind of message you're really bringing to the world from this particular experience of Cox's Bazar?
Acceptance. Yeah. So, as you said, the music is a global language.
Right.
So it can go beyond any different language or cultures, skin color, religious, anything. Music can bring people together. So that's really, really strong. So again, music cannot save you in a battlefield.
No.
I cannot protect anybody with my guitar. Against anybody, people who have guns. I cannot do anything, but music might be able to prevent those conflicts in advance. So that's the role of music, and then our responsibility as a musician.
Right. On this particular discussion, we have to take a break, and we'll come back after the break, and we'll know what about your experience in music and stuff like that. দর্শক, আমরা কথা বলছিলাম জাপানি রকস্টার মিয়াভির সাথে। তিনি তার অভিজ্ঞতার কথা বলছিলেন। তিনি বলছিলেন বিভিন্ন দেশে গিয়ে তিনি শরণার্থীদের সাথে কথা বলেছেন। তার কাছে একটাই হাতিয়ার আছে, সেটা হচ্ছে তার গান, তার গিটার প্লেইং। এটা নিয়ে সে এগিয়ে যেতে চায় এবং মানুষকে বোঝাতে চায়, বাণীটা পৌঁছে দিতে চায় যে শুধু সংঘাতে কোনো শান্তি মিলে না, শান্তি মিলবে শান্তিতে। দেখা হবে বিরতির পর, সাথে দেখুন, একটু পর ফিরছে। আমন্ত্রণ জানাচ্ছি মুখোমুখিতে আরো একবার। আজকে আমরা কথা বলছি ইউএনএইচস এর গুডউইল অ্যাম্বাসেডর, জাপানিজ রকস্টার, মিউজিশিয়ান অ্যান্ড অ্যাক্টর মিয়াভির সাথে। ওয়েলকাম টু দ্য শো ওয়ান্স অ্যাগেন। As we've been talking that the world community should know it more by songs or by anything. And let's talk about how this crisis can be solved. I mean, you've been to a few places, right?
Yeah.
And how peace can be bring in this situation.
I mean, that's what you should know. Yeah, I mean, it's really, really political as well. But the thing is, basically what UNHCR or any other agencies are doing, dealing with this crisis is just a tentative solution. It's not a fundamental solution. It's like putting Band-Aid on your cut. So now bleeding, just you got caught last year. I mean, but the thing is, this crisis has been over 40 years. In the camp, we met an old gentleman, who came to Bangladesh in 1992, and he went back to Myanmar in 1995, and then he came back to Bangladesh after 20 years. So
The crisis remain the same.
Yes, it's you know, we need to find a fundamental solution, and then which I think by UN, United Nations, you know, over nations, those are agencies have more power and more control, and then global rule, global law, so that, you know, every country can get connected and it can accept and respect each other. Right. So I really impressed how much Bangladesh, this country, is supporting this issue, you know. So again, this is my first time in this country. Now I've been seeing the cities and people. To be honest, you know, this country is not that rich, you know, compared to other countries, but it's really generous to open their borders for their for your neighbors. This is really impressive, and then this is also what the world should witness.
Right.
You know, it's not easy to accept those refugees, you know, people who had to flee from their country, and then this issue is really complicated, but it's really generous and also patient. We cannot save people in a battlefield with the guitar, you know, right here, but there's something that we can do, and an inspiration. So music cannot change the world or future right away, but we can change people with music, the idea. So it's really similar to education. So to me, education is really important. So food, as I said, food, water, health, lifeline is the most important thing to live. But after that, education, that's a prevention, and then that's what we can do with music. So it takes time, because that's the idea. As I said, you know, if the kids cannot share or cooperate, of course they fight, they compete, you know. So that idea or philosophy or moral, you know, we all musicians can also spread. So that's what we can do, and it takes time, you know.
On this discussion, we have to take another break. I will come back and we'll discuss more about your careers, right? দর্শক, আমরা কথা বলছিলাম মিয়াভির সাথে, ইউএনএইচসিআর এর গুডউইল অ্যাম্বাসেডর। আলোচনার এই পর্যায়ে বিরতি নিচ্ছি, সাথে থাকুন, ফিরছি একটু পর। আমন্ত্রণ আরো একবার। আজকের মুখোমুখিতে কথা বলছিলাম ইউএনএইচসিআর এর গুডউইল অ্যাম্বাসেডর মিয়াভির সাথে, জাপানি রকস্টার। শুনছিলাম তার ব্যক্তিগত জীবন এবং বিভিন্ন জায়গায় শরণার্থীদের সাথে কথা বলে তার অনুভূতির কথা। সে বিষয়ে আরো কিছু জানতে চাই। Being a guitarist, you do the slappings. Normally we see the slappings of a rock star on the bass guitar, but you're playing normal guitar or like a lead guitar, or even in a rhythm. You're like you're very unique. So how did you find it? I mean, how the idea came? Where the idea came from? Do you follow any rock star or any senior musician of your country or from abroad?
No, it's a really long story, but I just didn't have a pick when I started playing the guitar.
Okay.
I had to slap.
Okay.
So, you know, as a Japanese, as an Asian, you know, I got inspired by many guitarists like Eric Clapton, Jimi Hendrix, Stevie Ray, Buddy Guy, great guitarists in the whole world. But the more I play outside of Japan, the more I started feeling, oh, I need to find my own style, or, you know, something distinct or unique. Because, you know, if I play like Eric Clapton, nobody cares, because you guys already have it. So, especially with the guitar, the rock, funk, blues, dance, you know, Western culture. As an Asian, I thought that's really crucial to find some unique way. And then I got an idea from shamisen. Shamisen is the Japanese traditional guitar.
Okay.
Yeah, it's really traditional sound, and then it's really important to put your emotion and passion into one note. So it's also, you know, important to have a good groove, rhythm, but more impact and intensity. So the first tone is really important. So the moment I stop the strings, that's everything. It's really similar to karate, or it's more like not the rhythm. Of course, there's a rhythm, but more like that kind of intensity is the idea. So I just started playing like that, and also I got influenced by bass players. Yeah. So Max Miller. So Larry Graham. So many great slaps bassists. So I learned from them, but the basic idea is from shamisen.
Thank you so much. It's been absolutely pleasure talking with you, knowing your experience, and I know you are going to bring the message from here to Japan and throughout the world to stop this conflict and bring peace among the people.
Yeah, I mean, thank you so much for having me. And then again, I was really inspired to see people here, how generous you are, you know, since this crisis occurred.
So thank you so much for coming and visiting and sharing your experience.
Thank you.
দর্শক, আমরা কথা বলছিলাম জাপানি রকস্টার ইউএনএইচসিআর গুডউইল অ্যাম্বাসেডর মিয়াভির সাথে। একসাথে কাজ করতে চাই, আমরা সারা বিশ্বে শান্তি আনতে চাই, আর কোনো শিশুকে যেন এভাবে নিজের জীবনের হুমকি নিয়ে মিয়ানমার কেন যে কোনো দেশ থেকে যে কোনো দেশে পালিয়ে যেতে হয়। প্রতিটা মানুষ নিরাপদ থাকুক, সুস্থ থাকুক।